Hello and welcome to ChinnyVision. This time it's some brand new gaming action on the Spectrum. Amazing to think of how many brand new games there are for the 8-bits these days, and indeed physical releases, and this brand new game by Misfit and released by the future as 8-bit is indeed a physical release. It's called Pilot Attack. Costs $4.99 or you can download it, but we're looking at the physical copy. It comes in this standard cassette case looking a bit like a budget game with a yellow cassette, quite unlike a budget game unless you've got a 1980s tape. Or the early Mastertronic games I think were on yellow tapes, weren't they? So you pop your tape into your Specky and you load it up. And one thing to watch out for when you're loading the game, there are 2 copies of the game recorded on each side, all of which are at different volume levels. So if you do have problems loading this on the Spectrum, then you can try one of the other versions. Especially important for Speckies that don't have an adjustable volume control, because you can try one of the other 3 versions on the tape. Loading this up on a +2, so we've got some +2 music when you load the game up. Menu screen of the game is very simple. You're simply offered Kempson joystick, interface 2 for your Specky joysticks, or play the game on a keyboard. There's no real high score table, although the game does retain the latest high score. And if you look at the bottom right hand side of the screen, it says it's version 1.0, so possibly indicates there may or may not be future versions of this, not sure. So you are flying an aeroplane along in space, don't ask questions, and the aircraft drops if you don't press up, so you have to very carefully position your aircraft to counteract the gravity. And the game scrolls at 50 frames a second, and what you have to do is simply survive until the end of the level. Some baddies come along, you've got shields if you hit the baddies, but what you don't have is any protection against the scenery, so if you hit the scenery you're dead. So that's level 1 completed there. No in-game music, just basic 48K sound effects. And you've got a shield, as I say, and you've also got fuel to collect as well. So my fuel's 3 bars left at the moment. And you've really got it. It's almost like Angry Birds has a mechanic like this where they drop down. Not sure, but you can see how the plane drops if you're not pressing up. You can't move left and right. You can only move up and down. So trying to get the fuel there. You can bounce off the top and bottom, providing there is no scenery there. And while this looks easy, it isn't. It's quite a tough game. I've had a few goes of it before now. I'm just giving this a go just to see how far I can get through. You've only got 1 life. You have those shields, of which I have 2 left, but that's it. There's no more lives after this. There's some fuel. Try and get the fuel there. And we're on to level completed there. And look at the scoring. I love a game that has either ludicrously large numbers like Space Harrier for the scoring, or really small numbers. And this game has very small numbers, and I like that. And that'll be a power of some description. I get it's different laser shot thing, which fires faster, which I think is only lasts for so long. And then it defaults back to the standard bomb thing. Just squeeze through there very carefully. Very carefully. And then we've got another power up down there. Can I drop down enough to get it? Yeah, just. I think that was my shield actually. I think that put my shield up. I'm flying. We'll be close to the end of the level soon. Baddies always spawn the same way, so it is a memory test if you come back to play this again to get further into the game. Level completed. There's no big end of level baddies that I've seen so far. And on to level 4. This is when it starts to get tough. I can pick a power up there and just use the gravity to drop down and drop down again. And just again, there's going to be a tight squeeze through here, I think. Yes. Squeeze through there. You can touch the bottom, but you will bounce. So you've got to be very, very careful. It's very tight there. Very tight indeed. I'm down to one shield. So everything hits me, basically I'm dead. I don't know how much further I can get. It's called 717 points so far, so... And just shoot that there. Try and get through this gap here. Can I get to the next level? I've not got this far in the game so far. Yes, I can. It's vaguely reminiscent of games like Chronos, I suppose, that had graphics like this, although not the gravity mechanic. It definitely reminds me of Chronos, apart from that, and the fact you're flying a plane in space. I suppose, which in Chronos you're flying a spaceship, because you do that in space, obviously. Perhaps we're not in space, I don't know. The thing is, this game has beautifully printed cover on it, but no instructions on the B-side, so I don't actually know what the plot is. So you've got this beautiful cover, but no instructions or anything on the flip side of that cover. This seems to be looping over again. Perhaps I have to shoot both of them before it... lets me go on any further. Well, they are tadpoles. Tadpoles in space. Who knows? Alright, I really am chancing my arm now. I don't know how much further I can get on this. More tadpoles. With all these squeezes down as well, these kind of squeeze down levels with the tunnels and things, also reminds me of Killer Cobra by Mastertronic on the CPC. Game only that came out on the CPC, oddly enough. You can see that elsewhere on ChinnyVision. Quite an interesting shoot 'em up. Right, shot that. And there's some fuel here. Oh! That's that then. Still got further than I got before. Not too bad. I've seen some reviews of Pilot Attack that say it's a very simplistic game. And, well, yes it is, but it is the kind of game you would have paid $1.99 for back in the day. And this game cost $4.99, which alone for inflation is about what that $1.99 game would have cost back in, I don't know, 86, 87, 88. Something like that. So this is still a budget price game. And for a budget game, it is really, really good. No, there's not huge amounts of depth there. No, you're not going to be playing this game all day long. But that aside, and the fact that it would have been quite nice to have the plot on the flip side of the rather nicely printed cover, I can't quibble at all. The game is jolly good fun, it's been thought out, it feels like a 1980s budget game, completely authentic, which I guess is what the author was going for, and it delivers in spades. Either download it or buy a physical copy and put it on your shelf.